Hi there, I'm Cathi Barker from Software Solutions, and you're watching one of a collection of videos about essential skills in Microsoft Excel. In this particular video, I want to look at how do we find stuff and how do we replace stuff. Now, I'm using the Excel 1 file that accompanies your course notes that we saved as your first name in an earlier video. Do watch the earlier videos if you can do. Everything flows on. First of all, I'm in the sheet called products, and let's say I want to find all the products that Foodstuffs provides. Now, when it comes to finding something, on the Home tab in the ribbon towards the right-hand side is a magnifying glass called Find and Select. And if you click this, there's the option to find in there. Now, when you rest on it, it does mention the shortcut key, Control F. And so if you really want to get fast with these programs, start to absorb and start to learn some of the shortcut keys. You know those people that when you're having a problem, they come over and they just go doodle-doodle and they fix it and then they walk off? You want to be those people. You want to aim for that. So start to learn some of the shortcut keys. It really is the fastest way to operate, and a lot of them actually cross over to other applications. So pretty much universally, it doesn't matter what Microsoft Office application you're in, if you press Control F, you'll bring up the find. But if you're not a shortcut key person, and I get that, to make it a little bit easier to find things, what you might do is right click this button and add it to your quick access toolbar. So if I do so, there's my find button there, and that just saves me going over to here and then clicking this. I can now just click this one option here if I do a lot of finding. So I'm going to press Control F, and it says find what? Well, I want to find food, and I'm not worried about capitals, foodstuffs, but I am worried about spelling. It has to be spelled in such a way that there is a space between foodstuffs, and it has to be spelled correctly. Now I could find next, find next, find next using this option, but that's sort of like mind numbing. So I'm going to choose find all, and here's all of them, 12 of them to be exact. Now I can't quite see them very well, so I'm going to move this window by its top. Any window you can move by its top and just pop it over here. And then I'm going to stretch it by dragging its bottom edge. And now I can see all 12 instances of foodstuffs. In fact, I can see what cell they're in. And then if I actually clicked this option, B61, I'd be taken there, B61. And so I can actually jump to the various products that Foodstuffs provides us with. And I can check that there are a total of 12. Now let's say, for example, that Foodstuffs, the reason we're finding them is because we want to replace them. Sometimes people move on and somebody else takes over a person's position, and so we want to find every instance of one person's name and change it to another person's name. Or say, in this case, a company decides to rebrand themselves and give themselves a new name. So I'm going to go to replace. And Foodstuffs is now called Noise Stuff Inc. Noise Stuff Inc. NSI. And so I'm going to find Foodstuffs and replace it with Noise Stuff Inc. And that's where I would use capitals, because it is going to replace it exactly how you type it. Now I could replace every instance individually with this replace button, but I'm going to replace all. So if I choose replace all, I can see 12 replacements were made, which makes me happy, because if it said 120 replacements were made, I'd think that was a bit odd considering there's only 12, and I'd be hitting undo very, very quickly. But 12 replacements were made, which is correct, so I go okay, and I can literally see Noise Stuffs in this column here. But if I wanted to put it back, I can just hit undo. And now they're all back to Foodstuffs. So we can find stuff and replace it with other stuff. And I'm just going to go close. As far as find goes, that's in this button here, and there's your replace there. And so if you're doing a lot of replacing, you may choose to use the shortcut key, Control H. And there's the go-to that we looked at in an earlier video. When you need to go to, it says there, what's faster than scrolling? Jumping. Control G lets you jump to a specific cell. So we've looked at those three, Control F, Control H, and Control G. If I wanted to add replace to my quick access toolbar, I'd right click it, and there's my replace option. If I wanted to add go to, I'd right click it and I'd add it to my quick access toolbar. So now I've got a go to, a replace, and a find. If I want to get rid of them, I'd right click and remove, right click and remove, right click and remove. So add buttons that you are going to find useful. Now, sometimes when we want to find something, it's got a number of different ways that it's been spelt. Let's look at the find again. I'm going to press Control F and I want to find everything that contains food. I can't just type food because if I go find all, it'll basically, oh, well, I can do that. And here you can see 32. Let me just stretch it. 32 things contain the word food. Now that's because of the options. I needed to look in there. Options can be closed and options can be opened. So that options button, the little greater than and less than, collapse and expand it. When you open it, because match entire cell content is not ticked, it will find everything that contains food. If I went match entire cell content and went find all, it would find nothing because there's nothing that just says food. So I go, okay. So we don't want to match the entire cell content. We want it to contain food. We also don't want it to match the case. If I put food stuffs, which is correct, find entire cell content, find all, so it would find all 12 of them. That would work. But if I said match the case, it'll find none because there's none in here with a little f and a little s. Find all, can't find any. Can't find any foodstuffs with a little f and a little s. So we don't want to match the case. So there's a couple of options I needed to point out in that options button as well. And then close. So have fun finding stuff in Excel using that particular button there. Come back for the next video. See you soon.